Does that say evening?
Good evening.
I thought it said earring. My mistake.
I thought it said pussying.
Welcome, one and all. How are you doing?
Evening, Dan.
Evening. Let's Talk Trek. UK's #1 Sunday night Star Trek web show thing. You know how it works.
That's on at 9 o'clock.
That's on at 9 o'clock because we don't want to confuse ourselves with any other Star Trek web shows who might be better than us at different times. That's the one. So.
And first of all, everybody, good evening. So pleased to see you. But if you've just jumped on the stream, please hit the like button or the love button or the blowjob face button. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
And Carl, you can be in charge of putting up various people's good evenings, please.
Okie dokie. Let's start with that then, shall we? Shall we go quick?
Guess what it is yet?
James, what the hell is that supposed to be?
It looks like a little pussycat.
Oh,
hey,
dear.
Mark.
Good evening,
Mark.
Wow.
That pussy looked like it was quite furry. What type of pussy is that?
It's a
Hey, Chris.
Aberdeenshire blue.
Is it a cold pussy?
Good evening, Christoph.
Hey, Christoph. Nadim, hey, buddy. How you doing?
Nadim.
If anybody needs me to draw anything during the rest of the evening, just let me know. I'm available.
Oh, wow. Okay. We'll take you up on that in a moment. Hey, Val.
I thought you were sort of like the solicitor or judge type person, not the one who sits in the corner drawing people.
What do you think we do in court?
Doodle, obviously.
Wow.
Oh, we have a request, James.
Okay, I'm on it.
Chart, and I never even knew that James had a gift for drawing. There you are.
Well, he doesn't. But
I think you're about to be sorely disappointed with your assumption there, Carl. I think you're going to be put straight.
Am I going to be proven wrong?
You'll be shown up. Don't assume one's drawing ability. We could sell that for a lot of money. That's brilliant.
Oh,
hang on.
Excellent.
Hey, Linda.
There we are. I've signed it and everything.
That's
how authentic.
You're the Banksy of Trek. That's amazing. That really is. Go and graffiti that on the side of some Trek actor.
I tried to find the music from Tony Hart's art gallery or whatever it was called, but I couldn't find it.
Here's some of my other work. Yes.
Would you like me to sing it for you?
Yeah, go on.
Please do.
Bum bum ba bum 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 ba bum bum. Wow.
Nothing else around here that I've drawn. No.
Oh, you've got other art, have you, James?
No, I've got this Mardi Gras, the world's largest and greatest pancake fanzine.
What was it called? Tony Hart, was it?
Yes,
The
it
gallery.
was called
The gallery.
Was it Take 5? Piece of music.
Anyway, we're a Star Trek show.
Apparently,
so, we've got some Star Trek to talk about.
We do cover some Trek stuff.
Yeah, we've got an exciting project which I'm gonna do a weekly kind of update on this. And if, like me, you have the odd spare Eagle Moss ship lying around. Oh, that's a good one, James. Have you just erased Tuvix?
Sorry.
You just Gameway Tuvix, didn't you? Okay.
Yeah, well, it's so easily done.
Yeah. If you have an Eagle Moss spare ship that you've enjoyed as much as you can, and because sometimes the stands go... nice mail on freighter.
That's outstanding.
The stands go a bit wonky. I've decided...
Mail on freighter.
Because I've been watching on YouTube these people with epoxy resin making incredible things. So I'm going to immerse this ship in epoxy resin and attempt to make a paperweight, because everyone has so much paper on their desks and the wind speed is very terrible at this time of year. So to stop your paper from playing, I'm going to attempt to make a paperweight out of an Eagle Moss ship and some epoxy resin. I'm going to video it and we'll see how it goes next week.
Can I make a suggestion on that? Is it
please do.
to put coloured dyes into said epoxy resins? Because you could maybe make some sort of nebula scene if you did that.
It is. I've got quite a few ideas, but for my first one, I'm just going to try and see how the ship comes out. Make sure the epoxy doesn't strip all the paint stuff off the ship. I think I might have to spray it with a coat first and then put it in there. But yeah, that's a really fantastic. Oh, some glitter. Like some black. If I put in some black resin with some glitter, that might look really cool.
But then you might not be able to see it at all.
So welcome to our new section of the show called Will It Epoxy? We'll get a slide for that next week. Right, so lots of things going on. Carl's clicking through them. Let's do some features first. Let's get the first feature out of the way, because inevitably James has got some ice somewhere he's going to complain about.
No ice today.
Oh, well, you can wait then.
Yes, this evening's cocktail is very much what's left over from the Christmas food supplies cocktail, and I've decided to call it the Port and Starboard. And obviously, starships have a port and a starboard side.
Is left port and right starboard?
That's correct. The easy way to remember it is port has the same number of letters as left.
And so, which light is port and which light is starboard?
I'm very glad you asked me that, Richard, because that's extraordinarily apropos to how this cocktail works. The port side of a vessel has red lights on it.
And how do we remember this? Because it's the same colour as
port.
Port. Yeah.
Which features in our cocktail this evening. And on the starboard side of a ship, otherwise known as the right side, you have green lights. So what have I got that's red and green? Well, obviously, as you've quite rightly identified,
1980s 3D glasses.
Glass of vintage port.
Nice.
So what we do is we take the
put it on the wrong side. You need it on the. Oh no, you are. You're on the
that's
right.
on my left side. That's fine. So you take the vintage port. Delicious. And then you need something green. So I've got this mint Turkish delight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to announce that due to budget cuts, the Let's Make Cocktails feature has been reduced down to shots and munchies.
James, I applaud your effort.
If you'd like to help us with our budget cuts,
else green, like this Brussels sprout.
If you'd like to help us with our budget cuts, please feel free to support us with the link on the bottom of the screen.
So there we have it, the port and starboard cocktail.
And how would you rate said cocktail, James?
4 chainsaws out of 5.
That's nearly a quarter of one whole lumberjack.
I'm disappointed that you're not just swilling port out of the bottle.
No, I always filter my port through a...
Is that how James drinks it, from a bottle?
I do like port.
We've heard. Yeah. Especially when you drink it like that.
Right, let's move on from the cocktail.
And so... our next feature.
Oh dear, our moderator seems to have lost himself.
Meanwhile, elsewhere on Let's Talk Check, perhaps he'd like another drawing.
Get lost! Right.
Here's Dan. There we are.
Oh, James, could you draw a picture of you drinking a bottle of port, please?
A bottle of port. Okay.
And try not to tickle it as you tilt the bottle.
Oh dear.
So we've got some Star Trek news this week. And it's serious news, so maybe we should let James draw his picture first.
Sully it.
It's going to take some time. This is a complex request.
Oh, God.
Okay, well. So it's real news. So do we have a real news sting? I can't remember.
We're not doing collectible, then. We're just moving straight on.
Sorry. I've jumped in here because I thought everyone else had lost complete control of what was going on. I do apologize.
No, let's do a bit of real news first. Go on, then.
Okay, so the real news this week.
I can do a real news sting if you want, actually.
If you've got one, yeah, please do.
Yeah. I can do one, which will give James enough time to finish his drawing if you really want.
Yeah.
Here we go. Right, there it is.
Come on, James, finish your drawing.
Do we really have to wait another 67 seconds?
Unfortunately, I've only got an unedited version of this, so yes. This real news better be awesome, Richard.
Allow me to fix this problem.
So, in real news this week, James has done a self-portrait of him drinking a bottle of port enthusiastically.
James, could you just show that to us again, please?
Who's that a picture of in the background? Hold it up again.
That's Dan there having a laugh.
It's Dan having a laugh, right? Okay.
All right.
Is that your microphone boom arm? Just to be clear.
Yes, look, here it is.
Yeah,
Look.
okay, good.
Don't neglect the boom.
There's the two monitors. There's the keyboard. There's the mouse. There's a pen that's on the table. Where they're there. There's the bottle of port and there's the microphone.
I'm especially admiring the size of your bicep here, James, in that picture.
I know that's. Oh, never mind. It's not like that picture of Richard's bicep.
Or the picture of Dave Bautista at the Science Museum. Sorry, Chris, we never had it.
Yeah. We were hoping someone would get it as for Christmas, but it just never arrived.
Real news, serious news. So, Star Trek Picard has had to halt production. They've stopped filming because in excess of 50 crew members, cast and crew members, have come down with COVID. So, if you're an absolute idiot and you've not been jabbed and you're not wearing a mask, please do, because now Star Trek's suffering. It's gotten serious.
Is there any word on how Sir Patrick is?
He's fine. He's not.
Excellent. That's what we need to know.
I'm going to say my understanding was that he's not one of the 50-odd people. So
Evidently, he doesn't eat with the rest of them in the crew quarters. He eats in the separate captain's quarters, which I would, to be fair.
Yeah.
Quite right, so.
For a number of reasons, including the fact that he is an older man now. You've got to protect yourself. Although I'm certain that Sir Patrick is fully vaccinated.
Well, actually, no, he's a robot now, isn't he? So,
yeah.
So he'd be fine.
No,
I think that's the character, James.
Oh, what? You mean it's not real?
No.
Those lines are blurring again, aren't they?
James,
The more port he drinks, the blurrier they get.
Yeah.
do you have your picture to hand that you just drawn again? Or have you erased it?
I'm afraid I'd wiped it in anticipation that you would ask me to draw something else.
I'm just admiring this reminds me of you.
Is that when Quagmire discovers the internet?
It is when Quagmire discovers the internet, yeah.
What's a quagmire?
That's the character you just saw on the screen there.
Yes. Absolutely. Right.
Fitness video that because he was operating his mouse with one arm, he can only do pull-ups with the other.
So, on the question of COVID, are they still making Discovery?
No, Discovery's on a hiatus at the moment. So.
They're not greenlit the next season. I was waiting for them to say they'd greenlit it, but it's not come through yet.
Right, so let's do some actual collectibles. I think that's going to be our next thing.
Ooh,
As we're running around the shop.
that's me, isn't it?
Hey, it is you.
Okay.
A poly resin.
You stole my hat.
No, Icky Thump, I'm Carl.
Oh. Oh, now I'm all confused. So, this week, dear viewer, I am worried as to why Richard has left the screen and what he's going to come back either dressed as or impersonating or anyone's guess. So, this week, I was prompted for the... What's that on your head? Ah, right, okay. So, the collectible, we have a lovely little piece, and I was prompted by something our dear friend Richard here is very kindly selling part of his collection to me. And it is one of the Hamilton plates.
Oh, I haven't got that one.
Ah, no. So this one is the Mr. Wharf. And a lot of these Hamilton plates were mainly produced in the 90s. This one in particular is from the first 5,000 plates of Mr. Wharf that were produced. They are absolutely lovely pieces. I'm, like I say, getting quite a few from Richard. Very pleased with, actually, because I only have 3 of these plates. I've got a Wharf, a Data, which I believe I've shown before, and a Deanna Troy.
Have you got the Data one to hand?
I can certainly get the Data one. I say I can get it, but it's just out of reach. I can get the Troy one. Well, yeah, the Data one, I'm afraid, is just out of reach. I've got the Troy one here.
Oh, all right, dear viewer. I am also Carl.
Crikey, I'm feeling so left out. Where's my hat? I don't know where my hat is.
I've got it here. Where is
It's
it?
here.
But it's freaking everywhere except on my head. Surely where it belongs. I must find my hat.
So, would anyone like to see what Carl has purchased from me? I'm not going to get them all out because I've boxed them all up individually. But anyone like to see what Carl's getting?
Oh, yeah, go on. What's Carl getting?
Oh,
Wait for Carl to come back. Here we go.
I'm missing. I feel naked without it now.
We're going to do an unboxing of one of your purchases here, Carl.
Ooh, live and exclusive and everything. Wait. Here we go. Let's get you. There we are.
Wait a second. Look, I've got this exclusive Let's Talk Trick Carl
The way I'm pulling some sort of like sort of face.
So we've got, and this is going to be a fastest finger first for our viewers. This is going to be named the episode.
Ooh.
For our viewers.
Come on,
name
viewers.
the episode.
Yes, we know what it is.
Oh, fine.
Oh, that's a great idea. You know, like they did the Tom Paris one from Lower Decks and actually made it into a plate, haven't they? Which I am going to have to purchase at some point.
And this is the one plate from my collection.
More tat.
We have a winner.
Which part, Paul? 1 or 2?
So this is the only plate from my collection which I'm actually a bit sad to lose, because I'd always hoped one day I'd get Sir Patrick to sign it. But what a wonderful thing that is.
Yeah, they are. They're lovely.
Yeah.
And the thing, most of them tend to go. So this Mr. Wharf one, for example, they tend to go for anywhere sort of like around 1,000 to 2,000 pence. But as Richard just rightly pointed out, they are a lovely thing to have signed by the actors in question.
Beautiful.
They're
definitely the sort of thing you would hang on to get signed, without a doubt.
Yeah, the 3 that I have, which, like I said, the Troy, Wharf, and Data, all 3 are signed. So, I mean, the Wharf one, I was looking up the price beforehand, and some people are trying to sell that unsigned for up around sort of like the 6,000 to 7,000 pence mark. which I'd be surprised if you'd get that for. It's signed. I reckon you'd probably be able to push around 5,000 pence.
Cool.
What if it's signed by you, Carl?
Oh, it'd probably devalue it then to about 50 pence.
Do you wonder how hard it would be to get to? I mean, I don't know how they do the
What about
plates.
this one?
Do they print them and then put like a varnish coat over them, or
I'm not too sure.
I don't know how they make them.
I thought they glaze them.
Because I've often thought I'd love to have a proper dinner set, but the actual ones that you can buy are thousands and thousands of pounds. So
Yeah.
having your own made might be cheaper if we all chipped in. Who knows?
We could get a Let's Talk Trek dinner set.
Maybe James could get some mugs made for his business practice that says, "All I got in the Lies of Divorce was this mug and a picture of James's face on it," like this. And give it.
My client would think I was value for money if all they got was a mug with my face.
No. You post it out to the opposing client after you've won.
So the adversary.
Yes.
Normally, James has a dust down in the car park, but that would be much more civilized.
Oh, that'd be nice. That one, Linda.
I went to an away game once from I won't name the club, from a local club, and at half time this guy comes over and says, "You guys fancy a dust up in the car park afterwards?" I went, "No, mate, it's all old people and kids in our coach." He went, "Oh, fair enough. Safe journey home."
Don't be soft. Have a fight.
So let's talk about something completely unscripted, because most of our show is usually unscripted. What Trek have you been watching this week, boys?
I've been watching Discovery.
Prodigy today.
Okay, so we've got two people that have just admitted to piracy.
No, I went to the States, looked at it, and came back again.
All right, okay, fair enough.
I've been watching Discovery and I've been watching Voyager, and again, this is for the audience, please. What alert was unique to Voyager? Discovery has black alert. Our viewer, if you're watching, please, what alert is unique to Voyager?
I think I got two separate alerts that were unique to Voyager.
But I'm rewatching all the Voyager. I'm not waiting for the HD transfer because I think that's going to be later than the DS9 one. I'm hoping is going to be imminent. And I'm really, really enjoying even the early episodes of Voyager. It really is a fantastic standalone series. There's so much about it to be happy about as a Star Trek fan of the golden era.
We do have some answers in, Richard. Mark says
yes, blue alert.
But Chris also says.
Yeah,
well, I'm specifically looking for coloured alerts. Blue alert is the landing alert, which isn't unique to Voyager because I'm sure other starships could land, but it's the first time we had it.
A lot of people are talking about Lower Decks online. No, not Lower Decks, Prodigy. We're not going to give away Prodigy.
Richard, what was the other alert status that was unique to Voyager? We've only ever heard of it on Voyager.
I don't know. I'm only on season 2.
Yeah. Well, they didn't even call it an alert. They called it grey mode, but it is described as an alert status where you go to reduced power.
Grey mode. Well, that's not alert. That's not an alert.
No, it's described on Memory Alpha as an alert.
Did anyone say go to grey alert? Did anyone say go to grey alert?
Right, I can feel the viewership running away at this point. So let's go away from grey alerts. I've been watching some Star Trek this week. In fact, I was watching it earlier this evening, and I watched an excellent two-parter that had the late great David Warner in it. Any idea?
Yes, you were watching
Chain of Command.
Chain of Command.
Chain of Command.
Do you know what's great about Chain of Command, James? No one says go to grey alert. Even when they had to go to low power, no one said it because it's not a real alert.
Well, I'll tell you what a great two-parter that is.
David Warner is still alive. What?
Is he? David Warner passed away recently.
James and I met him.
Yeah, but I thought he passed away recently.
No, he's still alive. I just checked him out on IMDb just to be safe. But yeah,
if you told me that you were going to mention it, I'd have shown James doing his impression of him. Sorry,
Well, in that case,
Stewart.
David Warner, I'm very sorry, you're not dead.
End of the show, and now you've
David Warner was absolutely charming, a wonderful man.
such a gentleman, and very game for our shenanigans. He was absolutely hilarious. James, go to him. There are 4 lights there, and David Warner just went.
No, David Warner fed me the line. He said, "How many lights do you see?" He was well up for that.
He was well up for it. He was very good. And do you know what? He was the amount of time that he spent with, and he didn't have to. And he's an older gentleman. The amount of time that he spent with us was absolutely marvelous. He was a really
Have you not got this clip to watch, Richard?
Top man.
I haven't got it to hand. I'm not going to be able to get it to. I'd have to download it from my.
If the viewers want to see it next week, we will put it up next week.
Yeah, I'll put it up next week if you want to see it next week. How long? I've got a bit of the show.
So unfortunately, we just announced the demise of David Warner. It's not true. He's very much alive.
You announced it, Dan. We immediately counteracted you.
Okay, fake news. I was like,
yeah, we instantly fact checked our own broadcast.
who recently died from Star Trek 6? Then?
I don't think anyone's ever died from watching Star Trek.
What's his face? He played the bald one with the eye patch.
Yeah, him. I got the name. Christopher Plummer.
Died. Yeah, Christopher Plummer. That's who you're thinking of.
I can see you, Kirk. Can you see me?
Hell's heart, I stab at thee.
I always thought that's the funny thing about the Klingons. They speak of honor, but they cloak and hide and stab you in the back. I mean, where's the honor in that?
The trouble is, I watched Chain of Command, which is a great 2-parter, and then I ended up watching the one where Geordie falls in love with a bloody woman whose dog is a changeling, and it's just like from one great episode to one absolute filler.
The woman whose dog is a changeling. I remember that one.
It's not a changeling, but it's a shape-shifting dog. The one where they think
the lady on the space station.
That's the one.
They think Keeler or Aquila or something.
Yeah.
Aquiel.
That's correct, Chris. Yep, that's one of the most recent ones I can recall.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, Chris. Anyway, so yeah, I watched Chain of Command. It was very good.
Chain of Command is fantastic for so many reasons.
Edward Jellicoe being one of them.
Well, yeah, if it wasn't for Chain of Command, we wouldn't have all the Jellicoe memes, would we? So, yeah.
And it's yeah. James likes a Jellicoe meme.
James is well into his Jellicoe. He'd be right up
Lieutenant,
Jellicoe.
You've been late for your duty shift 5 times this week. Do you know what that means? It's Friday.
Actually, if I would, this is a family-friendly show, so I won't put any stills up. But if anyone wants to have a look for Miles O'Brien memes, like the A Day in the Life of Miles O'Brien at TMG, some of them are just absolutely brilliant. They're Mrs. Slocum's territory. They are just absolutely fantastic. They are really good.
I somehow have got attached to a group or a page which is the same photograph of Chief O'Brien every day.
Every day,
yeah, it's great.
It comes up, and then underneath this picture, every day, the same people comment with the same thing.
Yeah,
and there's a guy on a roller coaster under the picture of Chief O'Brien that appears every day, and then there's a meme about it underneath that, and then there's another meme about that meme, and it's ridiculous. And
it's almost as good. It started off with the same picture of Jeff Goldblum every day.
Yeah,
and that's just marvelous. I mean, every day.
So, shall we talk about some real news? Moving on from Jeff Goldblum.
Has Jeff Goldblum ever been in Star Trek? Just a relevant.
Shall I send Jeff Goldblum a message and see if he'll?
Yes.
With
the Jeff Goldblum update.
See if he's up for some Star Trek.
Did I see that Sidney Poitier died this week as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great shame.
He wasn't in Star Trek, was he?
No, but his daughter apparently auditioned to be in Star Trek.
And Jerry Ryan said Sidney Poitier was her inspiration for taking up acting as well.
Tenuous Star Trek link there.
Still a link.
Still a link. We'll have that.
So who's excited for... I mean, we've got Discovery's not got long to go. We've got Prodigy at the moment. We've got Picard. I know it's had a bit of a break. We've got coming up.
Well, it's season 3, isn't it? They're on a break.
Season 3, they're having to... break.
It's season 3. So we've got Picard coming out. I mean, we've got Trek coming out of our ears at the moment.
And then Strange New Worlds.
That's the one we're looking forward to the most, I think.
I can remember not so long ago having a video call with the guys from Iceni. It's before I met all you guys. And they were really cross about the new Star Trek reboot. The Abrams one, like the first one. And were saying how it's but it was that reboot, I think, that's led to this catalyst. You know, if it wasn't for that film being the first Star Trek, which I think is a really good film, by the way, if it wasn't for that film being so successful, we wouldn't have had Discovery. We wouldn't have had Prodigy, Strange New Worlds, Picard. Honestly, it was that reboot by Abrams, whether you like it or not, you know, that really was responsible for us getting more Star Trek. And at the time, all we could do was rewatch the awesomeness that we had before. But, you know, and let's be honest with you, apart from when TNG had its HD reboot, everyone was getting, you know, it was getting a bit like, well, I've rewatched DS9 3 times now, I've rewatched Voyager 4, you know, it's one of those things. So I think that whether you like the Abrams verse or not, I think that's it, the success of that film paved the way. I think we're very lucky he hit the money with that.
I can't see the name because I'm going to log in afterwards, but to the person that has just sent us 20 quid and had said, have some beers on me, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
We shall
some money.
That's very sweet.
We shall invest that into some beers. Thank you very much.
Possibly if we're meeting next month.
Well, yeah. I'm going to put this to you guys off the air, but we may as well do it live because then there's no way that anyone can back out. I'm not pointing fingers in directions of people who may back out. No notice. The rest of my house. Strange New Worlds, how about we have a screening party?
When's it on?
Whenever we get the first episode of the launch, we organise a screening party.
What you mean, all face to face or virtually?
A face-to-face event, and we all watch it together.
Or we could have it in our function room and put it on the big screen and invite lots of people to it. Not just us four. We could make a big deal of it.
Because I mean,
function room.
I've done Star Trek Discovery as a screening event, so it feels right I should do Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, we could do the function room we used to host our Let's Talk Trek get together. We could get that and have a screening
yes,
party.
we can do that.
Yeah, I do, just as a night. We don't have to. I've been put on the spot here. I'm just reaching out there. Oh, we could get some blackjack tables and some hookers.
Mm-hmm. And here we go.
We're okay.
Chris says it'd be like the old Pages day.
Well, yes, back in the days when it was FedExed over on VHS from the States, or Betamax, or whatever we used then.
Just thought it could be fun to, we'll have a screening party.
Do you think Amazon will invite us to one of their parties again?
Yes. Yes. The Netflix event was very good.
Oh, Netflix. Was it Netflix? Yeah.
Yeah, I got a bit drunk.
Netflix.
I got panicked on James took me on public transport, and I panicked and literally, I bought enough whiskey for both of us, and then I found out that James didn't drink whiskey.
So it was Netflix that invited us to London to watch.
I'm fine.
We watched Netflix for the Discovery premiere, and then we watched the Picard premiere with Amazon, who invited us as press.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, we did both, didn't we? Yes, I forgot we did the Netflix one and we did the Picard one.
The Netflix one was the one with the free bar, if you remember.
The Netflix one was the one with the free bar, yes. I don't remember that. Oh, and they had like a man with a plate of really tiny sandwiches on, so you had to like get loads of them.
Was it a Hamilton plate? Was it?
No, it wasn't. No.
Oh, missed opportunity.
And the strange thing, I mean, my memories of the Netflix one, and we're digressing. I thought we're actually talking Star Trek. Weirdly, it's the fact that all the
sandwiches we had actual size.
All the stars were really nervous because this was the first press screening and question answer thing they'd actually done. They hadn't done any conventions or events or anything at that point.
I'll just to kind of to put the viewer in perspective. And this is not us being we got invited to this, now it's got to go. But we all got into this very small kind of cinema. The episode was screened, and they dragged all the cast up. It was all the cast to sit there and answer questions. I'm going to pause you there.
This is actually in the Netflix office in London. It's on the 10th floor. It's like miles away. You wouldn't think this is a cinema up there, but there is.
And the they brought the cast out from season 1, so what Clem Fandango and whatnot was all there, and
Fandango. Oh yes.
yeah, but
Can you hear me?
absolutely, and this was a thing that because this is I was about to say my overriding memory was how nervous they all were, like how really nervous they were, apart from Jason Isaacs, and he kind of ran the show. So even when you asked a question because I got to ask a question to Sonique, and she was a bit like, and he kind of answered it for her, and then asked her to chime in, which might have looked like maybe he was stealing her thunder, but she genuinely was rabbit in headlights, kind of, well, I don't know how to respond to this. And he did that for every cast. He was my impression was he was such a gentleman. You know, he really had his arm around and looked after all those younger cast members who just weren't used to this sort of exposure. I thought he was a really nice gentleman. He was fantastic.
Do you know why that was, Richard? British.
The thing that made me laugh. Obviously it was mine and probably your guys' first invited to press screening. I hadn't been invited by any other production company on, and it was the amount of NDAs that we had to sign and things to say that you would not discuss what you'd seen or anything in any media at all for a couple of days.
And also, do you remember when we went to the pub afterwards and they had a chalkboard and James found a rogue apostrophe and had to correct it right outside of MI6? He was like, "I'm not having this apostrophe here," and just went straight in there like Bond and just was like, "Grr. That apostrophe does no place there."
So Crystal says that he thinks that Strange New Worlds might just kick off Paramount Plus over here. It's a
good possibility. I mean, it's. I think it's the most highly anticipated since Picard, isn't it? Let's face it. Only because our gorgeous friend, a friend of the show, Anderson Mount, is heading it, and he was such a hit in Discovery season 2.
Well, it's. I think they knew that they were onto a winner by the amount of effort they put into that Enterprise bridge, but the amount of fan demand for Anson Mount Enterprise show was untrue. You know?
Yeah, he still wasn't as good as Jason Isaacs, and I'd rather have him doing it. But yeah, he's not British for a start.
No, I mean nobody's perfect, but he was very, very good and a charming man too.
And the fact that he gave me his DNA, which wasn't a sexual thing; it was on a toothpick. Was
this is if you haven't heard, this is a Let's Talk Trek story of
No, just that. You know, I approached him in a public toilet, and I walked away with his DNA, and we'll leave it at that.
And I've got Emily Coote's DNA.
Oh, you have, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'm never being invited to host a UK Star Trek event again. That's what's. What happened, Dan? Well, you got to host some panels and do some work, and your friends went around stealing DNA off the guests.
There was no theft involved.
Mine was volunteered. Emily's one. If I remember rightly, she didn't even want the DNA back. I think we did try and get it back to her, didn't we? But
we certainly did.
Yeah.
Right, so moving swiftly on through DNA stealing and other possible crimes.
All of our viewers, who's got any DNA from someone that we might be interested in? Do you have Leonard Nimoy's DNA?
This really does sound like you're trying to sort of like cook up the perfect celebrity.
Oh! Should we put our DNA together in a epoxy resin? Let's
pulling
put
DNA strands out from certain artifacts.
Yeah,
and then
if we get our DNA in some epoxy resin in like a million years' time, like they might make a film about it and like Jurassic Park and bring Star Trek actors.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw this out to our. We have a couple of hundred people that watch this throughout the week. There's nearly 1,000 people a week that watch this show, and quite a few of you watch it on catch-up.
You've got nothing better to do. Why are you watching us?
Which is great. I'm going to put this out there. If you would like to buy a paperweight with the Anson Mount toothpick in, DM us an offer for it. And if it's a decent enough offer, Richard will make it for you.
I've still got his DNA. What about Emily Coote's DNA? Are you willing to give that up, James?
Well, I'm sure we can get it replicated. It's fine.
Well, I'm going to come straight out and tell you now that if someone does want to buy it, I will donate 90%. So I want to cover my costs, basically, of the profit. Will go directly to the dementia charity in the UK. So if you'd like to do that, if you want Anson Mounce's DNA, then in epoxy resin.
And also in future, if either of you two guys can't make it onto the show, we're just going to put this avatar up instead. People will know that you're there in spirit.
It's Mr. DNA.
Absolutely. Fair enough. Right, so I've just done an informal offer that says that if we can get the DNA PSA approved, someone is willing to offer us £100 for the paperweight.
What's PSA approved mean?
You've got to get it.
Authorise autographs.
Yes. Yes.
I've got to get a what?
You have to get it validated.
What, you need Anson Mount's signature?
To authenticate DNA?
I think it's about to be validated. Don't worry.
There we
go. James, while we're talking Trek, can you draw me a picture?
Of course I can. What would you like?
I'd like a picture of Richard getting Anson Mount's DNA from a public toilet.
On a toothpick. That's
Yeah,
the important thing.
Okay. I've got his autograph right there. If there's any question of the authenticity, well, there's the evidence right there. There's proof.
George Michael went to prison for shit like this.
So in the chat, Linda has...
I love that. Quiet segue off. Whoop.
Anson Mount is a southern gentleman. I'm not sure if that's code or... But certainly that's not what I experienced when I was in the public toilet with him. It was a very civil conversation about hand dryers and Dyson making the best ones, and me asking him for his toothpick.
Love it. And just for any of our viewers that were struggling to see that, James, would you mind popping that up again, because that deserves a big screen showing. That's fantastic. You've just successfully managed to merge the worlds of Star Trek and Batman.
I am an incredible artist.
You're not appreciated in your own time, James. That's what it is.
I'll tell you what, if you ever go to Coroner's Court and you think, oh, he's making a lot of notes in his notepad, I bet he's drawing cartoons of what really happened.
How many of your notebooks
Let's forget the briefing I had when I was told, I've got a case for you. Do you remember that scene in Gremlins with the stair lift?
That was an actual case, was it? Do you remember that scene in Gremlins with the stair lift? And that's what the advocate said.
The actual case obviously was not funny. Somebody died, but
well,
it was introduced to me that was comical.
Talking unrelated, not related to Star Trek stuff, because we seem to like going off on a tangent. New Ghostbusters, very good.
The new Ghostbusters is by far and away the best film I've seen all year.
Me too.
Mm. Would you say it's better than Bond?
Much better.
I haven't seen Bond yet.
I'd put them about the same, actually. I really enjoyed the new Bond. I quite liked it. It's much better than the last one.
There were 3 shocking plot twists in the new Bond film that I disapprove of all.
I've got exciting news. I've not told you. I've got this is genuine news, it's not fake. This is exciting news. So I'm going to be in the next Sam Mendes film.
Did you get the part?
I got the part, yeah. I'm going to be in the next Sam Mendes film.
Congratulations.
Have you got the audition picture available, Richard?
Yeah, hang on.
It's brilliant.
I've got it. Yep, hang on. How do I upload it onto the?
Do you want to give us the full story and like the, what sort of picture they were expecting and how you had to pose and
what the part is, maybe?
Well, it's quite simple, really. They were looking. So Sam Mendes is shooting a film in my hometown.
Sam Mendes used to be married to Kate Winslet.
Yeah. So it's called The Cinema of Love or something, whatever. And it's a period piece. And they were looking for actors who could stand in front of a camera and not say anything, but basically look like a bald racist gentleman. And so they said, could you send? I said, look, I can do this. I'm bald, and I can do it. They said, well, we're very interested in you because you live so close to where we're filming. And they said, could you send us a variety of headshots? They wanted a picture of the back of my head, presumably check I wasn't faking being bald. And they said, could you send us a full body shot with a neutral pose? I said, of course I can. It's no problem. So I sent them this.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's new slides. Do I send a slide?
Richard full body shot. Here we go.
It's all right. He's wearing clothes.
Yeah. So I sent them that. And they actually rang me up and they said, that's brilliant. You're in the show. And they said, could you tell us on a scale of 1 to 10 what your ballroom dancing ability is? And I said, well, I've never done it, but probably about a 6 or a 7. And they said, what's your skating ability? I said, that's naught. I said, I can't play. I can't. I said, okay, well, look, you know that's a fantastic pick, all the rest of it. And then this is I thought, well, I'm not going to hear about it. Then so I got another call a couple of days later saying Sam Mendes wants to personally interview me himself. So I've got the part, but I don't know exactly what I've got. But I've reached some sort of final cut where the director is actually going to do a meet and greet with me personally, and that's happening next week. So there we are.
Wow. Right. Would James want Barrowman to do DNA? And Christoph says we can make it possible because he's got a photo shoot booked with Barrowman.
Barrowman's got COVID, among other things, Christoph. I'd stay away from him.
Maybe Barrowman can give you his DNA in a public toilet. I'm not sure, you know.
I'm still desperately disappointed that my 25 copies of An Evening with John Barrowman have arrived.
Or is it 25 evenings with John Barrowman?
I mean, I could get my air rifle out and just go, 25 times.
Do you know what? If you could hit one of them with an air rifle, I would donate £50 to Dementia UK.
So is that £50 per CD or DVD that I can hit, Richard?
With an air rifle?
Interest,
if I'm going to throw it in the air and you can hit it with an air rifle, yes.
I do have a cross rifles and crown, you know.
Oh, right. Well, let's quickly discuss. We are off on another Let's Talk Trek Jolly at the end of the month.
Beginning of next month.
Beginning of next month. We're off to Portsmouth for a day.
Mrs. D's approval. I've yet to have the approval granted.
And unfortunately, I'll be absent because my next offspring is due.
Well, Dan and I are having a jolly.
Yeah, well, we're having a jolly at least. So if you can figure something we can do in Portsmouth in the United Kingdom, let us know.
Is this HMS Victory, obviously?
Well, there's the Mary Rose as well, isn't there?
Yes, the Mary Rose, you can't really walk around it. On account of it being a wreck.
Mm. Oh, they're not pulled it out of the water?
It is, but it's in a sort of waterproof case being constantly sprayed with saline the last time I saw it.
But we can go and have...
You can't walk upon it. You can walk next to it.
You can't sort of get on it and have a go with the wheel?
No, because there's about sort of a third of it left.
Because the Mary Rose we had in Margate at Dreamland, you could get on it and they spun it round.
Yes,
it went upside down and did all that. It was really much better than the one that sounds like they got in Portsmouth.
Right, time for this clip.
Oh. This evening's clip, dear viewer, has been selected by my colleague, Daniel. So perhaps this evening he would like to introduce it.
I was on the internet looking at videos and I found this.
You forgot to say roll VT.
I'm waiting for him to say it.
Roll VT. You have to push the lever the lever.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Pull the lever.
I like to call it a lever.
I think we have jabbed this video before, to be honest, but
Hang on. Here's the lever. Oh, come off.
so obviously this is a Sovereign class Starship.
She's a beauty. We don't get to see very much of the Sovereign class. She only appears in 3 films, and we don't have a huge amount of time on her.
Do you remember we got to see the chair from the Sovereign class in the flesh?
We did. We took lots of pictures.
We put our DNA all over it. That actual chair, that very chair.
It is very well done, this, isn't it?
It's a beautiful piece of work. Just goes to show what fans can do when they apply themselves.
And time for How did you spend your lockdown? Well,
Of all the captain's chairs, that's my second favourite. The Enterprise E. It looks very comfortable as a movie watching chair, but Picard's D chair is the best one because it's got bigger arms for putting drinks and things on.
It's comfortable to sit in.
Yes.
You feel supported. Also, it had like a veneer finish. So, like if you, the problem is with the D one, it's velour. So if you like spilt a McDonald's milkshake and that stink for ages. But that one, you spill a drink on it, it's gonna just come wipe straight off. You're fine.
Yeah, leatherette. That's fine.
now
More practical chair.
that clip I just showed you there, the guy who did the model work on it, has put a big thank you in it to Doug Drexler, who apparently supplied him with a lot of the original graphics and things that were used on the Enterprise A.
Almighty Doug, he's such a good bloke.
Yeah.
We need to get him on.
Who's that?
Doug Drexler. He's worked on, obviously, most of the treks. He's worked on Battlestar Galactica. He's done, I think he's been involved in Lost in Space. I'm not sure if he did actually, but he's been on the Orville. And more latterly, I believe he's doing the reboot of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. He's done all the coolest stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to have to just quickly on Doug Drexler. I'm going to have to just quick serious note here. Actually, I think we'll go for a D minor. So, Doug Drexler recently posted he was having a bit of trouble going to the bathroom, and he put it off for ages and ages and ages. Eventually went to a doctor, and doctor went and stuck his finger up his bottom, which is not pleasant for anyone, and found a lump on his prostate. Okay, blokes don't like to talk about this sort of thing, and they're nervous to go to the doctor to have these sort of things checked. But Doug Drexler has found to have a nasty lump, and he's having to have a biopsy and stuff done. And he did a post the other day saying, look, this is not a comfortable subject for men to talk about. Men aren't as good at their health when it comes to that sort of thing as other women are. But if you think you might have a problem, like, go and get checked. Don't fuck about. Go and get checked. If you're struggling to pee a bit over a long period of time, you notice a bit of blood or something like that, don't muck about. Don't be an idiot. Read between the lines. Don't man up and ignore it and do nothing about it. Book into your doctor. Have it bloody checked. Doug Drexler did, and it's probably saved his life. So he did a post the other day saying to people, just don't even muck about. Just do it. Don't even think about doing it. Do it. And he's absolutely right. So if you think you've got some sort of problem down there with your waterworks and whatnot, book in at your doctor. Yeah, he might stick his finger up your bum. Trust me, there's worse things that can happen to you over the course of a day. So just get it done. Get it checked.
I love the fact that we have actual moments of seriousness on this show.
No, it's a serious subject.
Very true.
Well, this has
Chris,
taken
if
a
your
serious
doctor,
turn, hasn't
if
it?
your doctor stuck his finger up your bum for a cough, then I would be concerned. I've got to be honest with you, mate. I've been as serious as I can be.
You know, in all those 50s films where the doctor goes up to a line of soldiers and says, cough.
Cough.
Yeah.
Do you know what that's actually for? There is a medical reason for it.
Yeah.
Hernias, gentlemen. Hernias.
But when they cup them and ask you to cough, that's when you're in prison.
Can we get back to talking about Star Trek, please? Because this is getting really depressing.
What other Star Trek actors do we know that have had?
Well, I'm afraid we're actually out of time, boys. That's the
We're rolling on towards the 1 hour mark.
We've done our hour. So yes, we are going to Portsmouth in the United Kingdom. If you think of anything we should go and see, let us know. As always, if there's something trick you think we should talk about on the show, send it in. We will have a look at it. Chris is very insistent we go to the Vintage Toy Monster in Portsmouth. That's the second time of saying that.
Vintage Toy Monster? Museum, possibly?
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
So yes, that is it for the show today. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. We do appreciate you taking time out of your day or week or whenever you watch us. And if you watch us on repeat or playback, which I know quite a few hundred people do, give us a like, a thumbs up, and all the rest of it as well, because it does all help.
I mean, genuinely, you guys, if you've watched this on replay, whatever, give us the thumbs up emoji, give us the heart emoji, give us the smiley emoji. It does a huge amount for our show, getting out there and bringing more joy to the world through James's art medium.
James's art makes the world a richer place.
Would you like a final request?
Yes.
Final item.
Oh, can I request something?
Yes, go on.
Can I request you just a very simple drawing of a choose your choose cat who's lost complete control of his arm and it's spinning around at 100 miles an hour?
Okay.
Boom, 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 boom.
Can you tell what it is yet?
Boom.
Brilliant. That exceeded my expectations.
Is that an exclamation mark above its head?
Right, boys. I think that's the end of the show. So,
Oh dear.
I'll be back with more artwork next week.
Take care, everybody.
bye.
Look after yourselves and each other.
Well, that went fairly successfully, don't you think?
We're still live.
Yeah, press the end broadcast button now.
Oh, let's talk off the air. Bye.